I found a hidden microphone in my wife's wedding bouquet, and what I heard changed everything. 1 month after our wedding, the florist called me and whispered, "Sir, I noticed something terrible when we took apart the bouquet for preservation. Come immediately, alone, and do not say a word to your wife." Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening from in the comments. The phone rang just as I was pouring 2 glasses of wine. Friday evening, the sun setting over the Austin skyline. My wife, Isabella, was in the shower, humming a song we danced to at our reception. I almost didn't answer. I was happy. For the first time in a decade, I was truly happy. I was 52, the CEO of a commercial construction empire. She was 34, a former model turned interior designer. Beautiful, attentive, loving. "Mr. Sterling," the voice was trembling. "This is Maria from the Petal Studio. We did the flowers for the wedding. I need to see you, now." "Maria? Can't this wait until Monday?" "No, sir. I found something mechanical inside the orchids. Please, if your wife knows you're coming, she might destroy the rest of the evidence." The air in my penthouse became very thin. "I'll be there in 20 minutes, I said. Isabella walked into the living room wrapped in a white towel, her skin glowing. "Who was that, darling?" "Just work," I lied. It was the first lie I'd told her. "Site manager at the horrific downtown project. A pipe burst. I have to go." She pouted, walking over to smooth my collar. "Don't be long, James. I have a surprise for you later." I kissed her forehead. It felt cold against my lips. I drove my G-Wagon too fast through the city streets. My mind was racing. Isabella, my Bella. We'd met 2 years ago. I was a widower, focused only on my business. She was the designer hired to renovate my lobby. She was vibrant, intelligent, and she didn't seem to care about the money. She insisted on signing a prenup. She insisted on keeping her own small apartment for her studio. She made me feel young again. The wedding had been the event of the season. $200,000, a cliffside ceremony, 300 guests. I parked in the alley behind the flower shop. Maria was waiting at the back door. She looked terrified. "I'm sorry to drag you out, Mr. Sterling, but my husband is an ex-cop. He told me not to sit on this." She led me to the work table. There, dismantled, lay the cascading bouquet Isabella had held as she walked down the aisle. "We dry the flowers individually," Maria explained. "When I pulled the wire from the central cluster of white roses, this fell out." She pointed to a small silver disc. It looked like a coin, but thicker. "It's a voice recorder, top of the line, voice activated. It must have been taped to the stem." "Why would there be a recorder in my wife's flowers?" I asked. "Maybe the videographer put it there to capture her vows clearly." That's what I thought. So I plugged it in to check, thinking I'd just send the file to you. But it wasn't recording the vows, Mr. Sterling. It was recording the 20 minutes before the ceremony, while she was in the bridal suite. Maria pushed the laptop toward me. "Click play and brace yourself." I stared at the screen. My hand hovered over the trackpad. I trusted my wife. I loved her, but the fear in the florist's eyes told me my life was about to end. I clicked play. Static, the sound of fabric rustling. Then, Isabella's voice. Not the sweet melodic voice I knew, but a sharp, agitated whisper. "Stop pacing, you idiot! You're going to wrinkle your tux!" Then, a man's voice. My blood froze. I knew that voice. It was deep, confident, familiar. It was Marcus. My COO, my right-hand man, the guy I'd hired out of college 15 years ago, the guy who stood next to me at the altar as my best man. "I'm not pacing, Bella. I'm worried. The prenup is ironclad. We went over it. If you divorce him, you get capped at $500,000. It's not enough." Isabella laughed, a cold, cruel sound. "That's why we're not getting divorced, Marcus. Divorce is for amateurs. We're playing the widow game." I gripped the edge of the metal table so hard my knuckles turned white. "What are you talking about?" Marcus asked. "He's 52, Marcus. He works 80 hours a week. He has high blood pressure. I've already switched out his heart medication. I replaced the real pills with sugar placebos this morning." Silence on the tape. Then Marcus whispered, "Jesus, Bella, that could kill him." "That's the point," she hissed. "But we need it to look natural. Stress-induced heart failure. I'm going to ramp up the pressure at home, make him doubt his memory, gaslight him a little, keep him up at night. Within 6 months, his heart gives out. I inherit the company, the penthouse, the portfolio. No prenup applies to a grieving widow. And if he survives, then I push for power of attorney due to mental decline, and we drain the accounts that way. But he won't survive. I'll make sure of it." The sound of a door opening. Then Isabella's voice changed instantly, back to the sweet, angelic tone I knew. "Oh, Mom, I'm ready. I'm so happy." The recording ended. I stood there in the back of a flower shop, listening to the hum of the refrigerator. My wife wasn't just cheating on me. She was actively plotting to murder me. And my best friend, the man who ran my company, was her accomplice. "Mr. Sterling," Maria whispered. I looked up. "Did you make a copy?" "Yes, sir. On this flash drive." I took the drive. I took out my checkbook and wrote Maria a check for $50,000. "Close the shop for a week. Take a vacation. If anyone asks, you never called me, you never found anything, burn the flowers. I will, she said. Be careful, Mr. Sterling. I drove home in silence. Every instinct I had screamed at me to go to the police, to storm into the penthouse and throw her off the balcony. But I was a businessman. I built skyscrapers. I knew that if you strike before the foundation is laid, the whole thing collapses. If I went to the police now, she'd claim it was a joke, or she'd lawyer up and fight me for years, or Marcus would destroy the company from the inside before I could fire him. No, I needed to trap them. I walked into the penthouse. Isabella was on the sofa, wearing silk lingerie, a glass of wine in her hand. You took so long, she purred. Is everything okay? I looked at the woman who had replaced my heart medication with sugar placebos that morning. Just a headache, I said. I think I need to lay down. Oh, poor baby, she cooled. She stood up and walked to me. Did you take your pill today? I think so. Let me get you another one, just in case. You've been so forgetful lately, James. She walked to the kitchen. I watched her. She opened the bottle, took out a pill, and brought it to me with a glass of water. Here, she smiled, for your heart. I took the pill. I pretended to swallow it, then tucked it under my tongue. Thanks, Bella. You take such good care of me. For the next 3 weeks, I lived in hell. I had to hire a private investigator to swap my pill bottle back to the real medication every day while Isabella was in the gym, while I pretended the sugar pills were working, or rather not working. Isabella began her campaign of psychological warfare. Tuesday morning, I put my keys on the counter. I went to the bathroom. When I came back, they were gone. Bella, have you seen my keys? James, you left them in the fridge again, she said, laughing. You're getting so scatterbrained. They were in the fridge. I hadn't put them there. Thursday night, I missed a dinner meeting. I told you about it 3 times, James, she said, looking concerned. I put it in your calendar myself. Look. She showed me my phone. The appointment was deleted. I could have sworn, I stammered. Maybe you should see a doctor, honey. Early onset dementia runs in families. The stress, it's getting to you. At the office, Marcus was doing the same thing. Jim, you signed off on the budget cuts yesterday, he'd say, holding a document with my forged signature. Don't you remember? Right, I'm just tired. They were tightening the noose. They wanted me to break. They wanted me to sign over power of attorney voluntarily because I thought I was losing my mind. Week 4. I came home early. I stood outside the door and listened. Isabella was on the phone. He's cracking Marcus. He was trembling this morning. I think he's ready. Have the lawyer draw up the power of attorney papers. We'll tell him it's just temporary, just to take the load off while he rests. I opened the door. She hung up instantly. James, she beamed. You're early. I am, I said. I've been thinking, Bella. You're right. I'm not well. Her eyes lit up. Oh, honey, I've been so worried. I think I need to step back. Let Marcus handle the business. Let you handle the household finances. She hid her smile, but I saw it. The victory. That sounds wise, James. Just for a little while, until you get your strength back. I want to do it properly, I said. I want to host a dinner party on Saturday. Marcus, you, me, and my lawyer. We'll sign the papers, celebrate the transition, and then I'll book us a long vacation. That's a wonderful idea, she said. She kissed me. I'll order the catering. The next 3 days were a blur of preparation. I met with my actual lawyer, not the corporate show Marcus used, in a parking garage at midnight. I gave him the flash drive. I gave him the pill samples I'd saved. This is attempted murder, James, he said. We can have them arrested now. No, I said. I want to look them in the eye when they lose everything. Saturday night. Saturday arrived. The penthouse was filled with flowers, orchids, just like the wedding. Marcus arrived in a tailored suit, looking every bit the successor. He clapped me on the back. Good to see you resting, Jim. You look, tired. I feel tired, Marcus, I said. We sat down to dinner. Isabella had ordered steak and expensive red wine. To James, Isabella toasted. To his health, we drank. So, Marcus said, pulling a folder from his briefcase, I have the papers here. Standard power of attorney, gives Bella control over the personal accounts, and me control over the board voting rights, just until you're back on your feet. Isabella handed me a pen. Sign it, darling, then you can sleep. I took the pen. I looked at the paper. I looked at Marcus. I looked at my wife. You know, I learned something interesting about orchids recently, Isabella frowned. What? I learned they are very good at hiding things, like microphones. The room went deadly silent. Isabella froze, her glass halfway to her mouth. Marcus stiffened. What are you talking about, James? Marcus asked, his voice tight. I'm talking about the wedding bouquet. I'm talking about minutes before the ceremony. I'm talking about the sugar pills in my medicine cabinet. Isabella stood up. He's having an episode. Marcus, call the doctor. He's talking nonsense. Sit down, Bella, I roared. It was the first time I had raised my voice in our entire marriage. She sat. I pulled a remote from my pocket and pointed it at the wall-mounted TV. I prepared a little presentation for tonight. I pressed play. Isabella's voice filled the dining room, amplified by the surround sound. I've already switched out his heart medication. Keep him up at night. Within 6 months, his heart gives out. Marcus's face went gray. Isabella looked like she was going to vomit. "No prenup applies to a grieving widow." The recording ended. I poured myself another glass of wine. My hand was perfectly steady. "James," Marcus stammered. "James, that's AI. That's fake. She's making it up." "I have the forensic authentication, and I have the lab results from the pills you gave me, Bella. 100% sucrose." Isabella started to cry, but they weren't the cute tears she used to get her way. They were ugly, terrified sobs. "James, please, it was just talk. I love you. We were just role-playing. It was a joke." "A joke," I repeated. "Well, here is the punchline." The elevator doors opened. 2 uniformed police officers stepped out, followed by a detective I knew. "Isabella Sterling, Marcus Thorne, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, and tampering with prescription medication." Marcus tried to run. He actually bolted for the balcony door, but the officers tackled him before he hit the glass. Isabella just screamed. She screamed as they cuffed her. She screamed it was all Marcus's idea. She screamed she was pregnant. I watched them drag my wife and my best friend out of my house. The penthouse was quiet after they left. I walked to the table and picked up the power of attorney documents. I ripped them in half. The divorce was messy, but short. The recording made the ironclad prenup look like a napkin. She got nothing. Actually, she got 15 years in a state penitentiary. Marcus got 20. I fired the entire executive board that had been loyal to Marcus. I cleaned house. It's been a year now. I live in a smaller house by the lake. I sold the penthouse. Too many memories. I still have trust issues. I check my medicine every time I open a new bottle. I don't date. But last week I went back to the pedal studio. Maria was there. She looked nervous when she saw me. "Mr. Sterling," she said. I handed her an envelope. It was the deed to the building her shop was in. I'd bought it, and I was gifting it to her, rent-free, for life. "I saved my life, Maria," I said. She cried. I didn't. I was done crying over people who didn't matter. I drove home with the windows down. The air smelled like rain and freedom. They say love is blind. Maybe it is. But thanks to a hidden microphone and a brave florist, I finally opened my eyes. Never ignore the red flags, and if you ever find a coin in your flowers, listen to it. This is James Sterling, signing off.